With the Knicks winning Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Playoffs, I'm going to tell you the two most important players moving forward in this playoff series. All that and much more on the Knicks Digest. What's up, guys? It's your boy Dariel from Knicks Digest, and let's get right into today's video. So after the enormous Game 4 win in Philly, where Jalen Brunson had himself a 47-point game, a lot of the others, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, unfortunately, they did not have a good game. But OG Anunoby stepped up to the plate and was able to help the Knicks in getting that win in Philadelphia. And I'm going to tell you why OG Anunoby and Deuce McBride are the two most important players moving forward in this series. Now, if we go back to Game 1 and we take a look at the numbers, OG Anunoby in Game 1 had 11 points, 5 of 10 from the field, 1 of 3 from three-point land, grabbing 4 rebounds with no assists. Deuce McBride had 21 points, 7 of 12 from the field, 5 of 7 from three-point land, converting 2 of his free throws, grabbing 3 rebounds and 4 assists. In Game 1, you can undoubtedly say that Deuce McBride came up big, and you can even say that he was the MVP of Game 1. Now, Game 2, OG Anunoby, 10 points, 4 of 10 from the field, 0 of 3 from three-point land, converting both of his free throws, grabbing 4 rebounds and 1 assist. And Deuce McBride having 9 points, 4 of 11 from the field, 0 of 3 from three-point land, converting 1 of his free throws, and grabbing one rebound and 2 assists. Now, Game 2, it felt more like a collective effort. It didn't really feel like one player specifically stuck out. It felt more like a collective effort between OG, Deuce, Bogey, Mitchell Robinson as well. I gotta throw him in there. If we take a look at Game 3, OG Anunoby had 17 points, 7 of 11 from the field, 3 of 4 from three-point land, no free throws, grabbing 4 rebounds and 2 assists. And Deuce McBride in this game, he had 8 points, 3 of 7 from the field, 2 of 4 from three-point land, no free throws, and grabbing 2 rebounds and 1 assist. So looking at all those games 1 through 3, in Game 1, Deuce McBride definitely stuck out. Game 1, OG Anunoby had a decent game. Game 2, OG Anunoby had a decent game. But Game 2, it was more of a collective effort with Bogey stepping up, Deuce hitting some timely shots, Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson. Game 3, OG Anunoby had a decent game as well, but we didn't really have anybody really stick out, really came out to play, and they were able to grab the W. Now, earlier today in Game 4, OG Anunoby having one of, if not the best game of the series, 16 points, 8 of 16 from the field, 0 of 4 from three-point land, grabbing 14 rebounds with no assist. Now, for OG Anunoby, those 16 points might not jump out from you from the stat sheet, but what we really have to highlight, what we really have to talk about is the individual defensive play that he had on Joel Embiid. Isaiah Hartenstein was not in the game from about the halfway mark of the third quarter for the rest of the game, so the defensive matchup ended up being OG Anunoby against Joel Embiid, and then sometimes Precious Achiuwa against Joel Embiid. But OG Anunoby's impact in this game is not going to be felt, and it's not going to be seen on the stat sheet. If you watch the game, you were able to see that Joel Embiid was very uncomfortable. OG Anunoby was just all over him. He was in his shirt, just trying to make him feel uncomfortable as possible. And to be honest, moving forward, we do need a little offensive game from OG. We need him to hit those corner threes. We do need him to create off the dribble to help Jalen Brunson and alleviate all that pressure off his shoulders. But if Isaiah Hartenstein is going to continue getting into this foul trouble because Joel Embiid is just foul hunting the whole time, then OG Anunoby, we're really going to be depending on him on the defensive end, more so on the offensive end. Now, as far as Deuce McBride in this game, he had 13 points, 4 of 7 from the field, 3 of 5 from three-point land, converting 2 of his 3 free throws, grabbing 4 rebounds and 0 assists. Now, the number that really sticks out to me is the 3 of 5 from three-point land. Deuce McBride with 13 points, but those 3 three-pointers that he hit were very timely in the first half, and maybe 2 of them were in the first half, or 2 of them were in the second half, and 1 of them was in the first, or vice versa. But all I remember is that those 3-pointers came at a timely manner. And whenever Deuce McBride is able to assist the team and able to produce some sort of offensive fire punch, that's going to help the team out and do wonders for the Knicks. Now, the reason why I say OG and Deuce are the two most important pieces moving forward in this series, especially trying to close out this series the next game, right now, Jalen Brunson, everybody knows he's the best offensive player on the team. So what Nick Nurse is doing a lot of times, first I see him, Kelly Oubre, I see DeAnthony Melton, I see bigger bodies that Nick Nurse is putting on Jalen Brunson, trying to slow him down. That's 1. 2, I also see at times he's throwing doubles at Jalen Brunson. That's 2. So if Jalen Brunson is being covered with all of these different defensive schemes, then who's going to be able to provide the offensive fire punch? More than likely, since Brunson's going to be seeing all of these different defensive looks, the answer would be Dante or Josh Hart. But in today's game, Dante didn't have a good game. Josh Hart didn't have a good game. Actually, if we take a look into the numbers, in today's game, Josh Hart had 4 points, 0 of 7 from the field, 0 of 3 from three-point land, converting 4 of his 8 free throw attempts, grabbing 17 rebounds and 5 assists. And then Dante DiVincenzo had 8 points, 3 of 11 from the field, 2 of 7 from three-point land, no free throws, grabbing 2 rebounds and 0 assists. So out of the two, between Dante and Josh Hart definitely had a better game, and the reason why is because of the rebounds. 17 rebounds, and all of those rebounds came at a timely manner, and Josh Hart just has a knack for getting his nose in there and grabbing a rebound when we really need it. But going back to OG, since Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo did not have a good game today, then who's going to support the core three, the core Villanova boys? And in today's game, it was OG Anunoby offensively and also on the defensive end. When OG Anunoby is able to provide some sort of offensive fire punch, it adds a whole nother element to the team. Most times than not, it's going to add an element that the opposing team is not really going to be ready for. Because what OG Anunoby is known for is for his defensive prowess. He is known to be put on the best offensive weapon on the opposing team to slow them down, to make them feel uncomfortable. But when OG is able to add an offensive fire punch, it's just going to raise the ceiling of this team that much more. And now on to Deuce. In my opinion, alongside OG Anunoby, Deuce McBride is really going to help raise the ceiling of this team if he's able to provide an offensive fire punch consistently throughout the rest of these playoffs. Today, again, going to the numbers, Deuce had 13 points, 4 of 7 from the field, 3 of 5 from three-point line, 2 of 3 from his free throws, 4 rebounds, and 0 assists. The 13 points don't jump out to you from the stat sheet, but those 3 three-pointers that he hit, like I said earlier, were in a really timely manner. If Deuce McBride can keep doing that, if he could keep hitting shots in a very timely manner whenever the momentum is starting to swing from the Knicks to the opposing team, whoever the team is, Deuce being able to provide that offensive fire punch is going to be able to slow down the momentum from shifting. And that's what we need. We're going to need more people to step up to the plate because we can't 100% depend on the core three every single game for the rest of these playoff series. We can't depend on Brunson having a 47-point night once out of every 3 playoff games. That's not realistic. We can't depend on Josh Hart grabbing 17 rebounds 1 out of every 3 playoff games. That might not be realistic, even though Josh Hart has been a complete demon on the boards. We can't depend on Dante DiVincenzo hitting 5 to 6 threes 1 out of every 3 playoff games. All of those stats, all of those numbers that I just threw out to you, they're not really realistic, especially in the playoffs where the intensity is raised, where the style of play is slowed down, where the refs are really going to let a lot of the calls go. So if all of those things are happening, Jalen Brunson is not hitting 47 points, Dante DiVincenzo is not hitting 5 or 6 threes in a game, Josh Hart is not grabbing 17 rebounds, then who can we rely on? And I think OG Anunoby and Deuce McBride is the perfect tandem that we're going to be able to rely on moving forward in this series. Now, I'm not saying that OG Anunoby needs to have 25 to 30 points. I'm not saying Deuce McBride needs to have 25 to 30 points. If OG Anunoby is able to contribute 15 to 20 points in a playoff game, then that's really going to raise the ceiling of this team. Deuce McBride, if Deuce McBride is able to add anywhere from 10 maybe to 18 points a playoff game, that's really going to help this team out and raise the ceiling. And now the opposing team is really going to have to go into the locker room and really adjust to the type of play that the Knicks are showing. They're not going to be able to focus on just Brunson, just Dante, just Josh Hart. They're going to have to focus on more players like Deuce, like OG. And now with the injury to Bogey, OG Anunoby, and Deuce McBride, in my eyes, the spotlight is just going to intensify. I'm really going to be looking forward to see what Deuce and OG can bring to the table. Now, we don't know the severity of Bogey's injury. Last I checked, I think it was a left ankle contusion. It didn't say that he sprained it. So I don't know if he's going to miss the next game or if he's going to miss maybe a week or two. But if Bogey is not going to be in the lineup for the foreseeable future, then we 100% need at least one of the 2 players of OG and Deuce to step up consistently. As far as the other players for the supporting cast, Isaiah Hartenstein, Precious Achiuwa, who looks like he's going to get more minutes because Bogey's injury and also Randall being out, obviously, and Mitchell Robinson being out. If Isaiah Hartenstein could just try and get himself out of foul trouble, just know how Joel Embiid plays. He is foul hunting. He is looking to get the foul call every single time he shoots, every single time he has the ball. So Isaiah Hartenstein, just just be a little bit more smarter with your fouls. Precious Achua, even though I'm not a huge fan of yours, but you are able to provide at least something on a defensive end, which propelled us to get this W today, which was a huge W. But the rest of the supporting cast can be stars in their role, and OG Anunoby and Deuce McBride are able to step up and raise their game a little bit more. I am very confident moving forward in this playoff series, not just against the 76ers, but against the Milwaukee Bucks, but against the Indiana Pacers, who we will see in the second round of this playoffs. All in all, I'm just gonna say that I am 100% happy that we made the trade for OG Anunoby specifically, and I also gotta give credit to Coach Tibbs, because Coach Tibbs, throughout the duration of this season, he was giving Deuce McBride a lot more minutes, and he was trying to see what Deuce was gonna be able to provide. And luckily, Deuce did step up to the plate during the season, so it looks like Coach Tibbs really does trust him, and he is part of the 8-man rotation in the playoffs. So Deuce, all you gotta do is keep showing up, keep hitting timely threes, keep hitting timely buckets, and show everybody why you belong on the court. But going back to OG, that trade, man, it's going to do wonders for us in the future. Hopefully we could keep OG for the foreseeable future. And that elbow looks like it's good. It's looking like it's not giving him any problems. I haven't seen any reports of irritation, of inflammation. I haven't seen anything. So it looks like OG is going to be good to go for the rest of the playoffs. But the tandem of Deuce and OG moving forward, I think, might be the most important thing, besides Jalen Brunson obviously being Jalen Brunson and playing like the superstar that he is. But guys, that's it for today's video. I want to say thank you for checking it out. Make sure to leave it in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think OG Anunoby and Deuce McBride are the two most important players moving forward besides Jalen Brunson in order to succeed in this playoff run? But until next time, you guys know the drill. You know the vibes. Taj Gibson for president. Jalen Brunson for all the MVPs, which if he keeps going on this run, it looks like he's going to get all the MVPs. Deuce McBride for co-MVP. And we out. Go Knicks, baby. Peace.